Hey, it's Game Hydro. I'm doing another video about ACECRAFT Sky Hero, and today we are going to rank who the best wingmen are and make them into a tier list. So, easiest way to see what all of the wingmen bring to the table, we're going to go to Summon, Preview, and we can see all the wingmen from here. We're going to rank them based off stats and based off their attack. And what exactly the shape of their attack is, as well as other things. So, all right, we're going to start from the bottom. Down here, we got the breath freshener. Element trait bonus when equipped by pilots with the same trait increases base attribute bonus by extra 25%. Now you can see the base attributes here. Now this, I believe, is the same across all of the excellent ones. 6.6% attack, 6% hit points, 5.4% defense. So a little bias toward the attack side. So attack mode fires a tracking freshener every 3 seconds, dealing equal to 32% of attack. And so you can see what it looks like here. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Single target, but auto aim makes them pretty easy to use. I kind of like that one. And the damage is fairly high. For a wingman, I'm going to give it a rating of a B+ tier. Now, obviously, S tier is going to be the highest, A tier is the next highest, B is the next highest after that. C tier, I usually reserve for things that completely suck. I don't even know if there is going to be a C tier here. All right. Moving on, Air Fortress 1. Now, this one, the stats are even across the board, 6% apiece. When equipped by pilots with the same element trait, base bonus extra 25%. Yeah, something like that. Attack mode orbits around you every 8 seconds, removing projectiles upon contact. So let's see what that looks like. All right. So it removes projectiles. Unfortunately, it also removes pink projectiles. I'm not necessarily a fan of that because pink projectiles are always super useful because you suck them in and then you do the stunt attack. So this kind of stops you from doing a stunt attack, which kind of sucks. I mean, if you aim it right, it won't stop you from doing it. But the thing, it would suck for this thing to pop off every 8 seconds and pop off in the middle of a whole bunch of pink projectiles flying around. So yes, it is useful to avoid getting hit, but not that useful when you're removing pink projectiles, so I'm giving this one a C+. Doesn't entirely suck, but not what I would choose. Next, the Peacemaker. Stats are attack biased, 25% element trait bonus. Attack mode launches a mini nuke every 9 seconds that explodes on hit, dealing damage equal to 120% both on hit and explosion. Let's see what that looks like. Boom. All right. So it deals a little bit of area damage too. That's kind of nice. The main thing I don't like about is it launches only once every 9 seconds. And that means that against characters other than a boss, it's mostly not useful because it can aim just completely randomly, and unless you're specifically counting down when it's going to shoot, then it can occasionally just fire off into nowhere and leave you with a wasted shot. So I'm giving that one a C tier. I don't like it. Pink Star. So this one is completely even stat-wise. Creates pink stars that can be absorbed every 16 seconds. Pink stars disappear after a short duration. So there's the pink stars that it is creating. And that one's actually really legit because it enables you to do more stunt attacks for free. So if you got a character like Scotty, who's being shown here, who's got a killer stunt, that's legit. I'm giving this one A- tier. All right, moving forward, we have the laser blade. This one's more biased toward attack. Attack mode releases a horizontal electric laser that continuously attacks at a specific forward position every 5 seconds, dealing 20% damage every half a second. That one, I kind of like this one because it can essentially automatically aim and do the work while you're trying to do the work. You don't have to really worry too much about this one. And that's a fairly powerful attack. This is one of my regulars in battle, so I'm giving this one A tier. All right. Moving on up. Serenity Provider. Creates a device that removes projectiles every 10 seconds, excluding pink projectiles. Let's see what that looks like in practice. Also, the stats are completely even. All right. So this one leaves pink projectiles and puts normal projectiles. It sucks up normal projectiles, and it appears to be, it's a pretty good size. So it sticks around for a little bit. That's once every 10 seconds that it does that. I like that. I'm giving this one an A- tier. Much better than the one that sucks up the pink projectiles too. That one is just basura. Anyways, what do we got here? Sky Cleanser. Shoots flames forward every 5 seconds, dealing damage equal to 15%, 16% of attack. Plus, it is slightly attack biased as far as stats go. All right, that is actually an excellent attack. That is great for both splash damage and boss damage. Absolutely love it. This one, I am going to go S- tier. So that's the Sky Cleanser. Already did the Serenity Provider. Let's go with the Triplet Launcher. Stats are completely even and fires 3 tracking rockets every 3 seconds, each one dealing 20% damage. All right, so that's actually a lot of damage. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. All right. So that one works both as a thing that kind of kills the mobs and that kills the bosses, because then all 3 rockets can just fire off at the boss. I like that one. I'm giving that one B+ or A tier. That one is pretty useful. So that's the Triplet Launcher. Next, we got the Ring Turret. Attack mode. All right, there's no element mode, which is strange. Attack mode appears at random locations and releases multiple spikes, dealing damage equals to 12% of attack. And the stats are slightly biased toward attack. So Wingman skill, let's look at it. Boom, boom. There's the explosion of spikes. Not too bad there. The random location thing, meh on that. I'm giving this one a B tier. It's pretty good. Attack power is good, but the random location kind of makes it not necessarily my favorite. I don't really use that one too much in battle. Now, to be frank, though, you're going to probably end up swapping Wingman at times, depending on what's most useful for the stage you're trying to beat. And if you're not trying to swap them, you should be trying to swap them sometimes and testing out new ones. So Blue Mood fires multiple music notes every 3 seconds, each dealing damage equal to 16% of attack. This one is more biased toward hit points and less toward defense, surprisingly. I like this one. This one is in my regular rotation. The attack is pretty good. Now, the only weakness is that the music notes aren't auto-aiming, so oftentimes they can just fly into nowhere. But it fires enough of them to deal pretty good damage to mobs. Not that useful against bosses. I'm going B tier on this one. I do like the bias towards hit points, though. Wait, did I skip one? I skipped 2, I think. I skipped 2. All right, let's go for them. Tesla Tyrant fires a non-penetrating laser forward every 3 seconds, dealing damage equal to 16% of attack. All right, let's take a look at this. Take a minute to load the video here. That's what the laser looks like. I really like this one because it's very easy to aim, and you can do either a lot of damage against mobs or a lot of damage against bosses. This is my most favorite regular one to use, especially against tough bosses. I'm going A tier on this one, and especially after you get to Chapter 4, Chapter 5, where you got a lot of large enemies that are kind of mini bosses, but kind of not. It's extra useful against those. S tier. Lightning Blitzer. Fires penetrating projectiles every 3 seconds, dealing damage equal to 10%. And it's more hit point biased. Let's see what that one looks like. Boom. Boom. Nice quick shot. Attack power is a little on the low side, but not that bad. And the shots go straight through and do a lot of damage to a lot of mobs. Not super useful against bosses. I'm going B plus tier on this one, though, because to be quite honest, usually it's the mobs that get you. And bosses tend to be predictable patterns. Mobs tend to be completely unpredictable because of how they're laid out on the stage. Next up, Magnetar. More biased toward defense here, which is unique. Fires tracking magnets every 2 seconds, each dealing damage equal to 20%. That's a lot of attack damage, actually. Tracking, and they track, so they aim, and each one deals 20%, and that's every 2 seconds. So based on the damage delta alone, this one is above and beyond as far as A grade wingmen go. I'm going, and the tracking makes it fairly easy to use. This one is almost more like a stunt shot. So I'm going S tier on this one. That's really, really, really good. Cannon launcher. Fires small shells every 1 second, each dealing damage equal to 12% of the attack. Let's check it out. Boom, 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 boom. So very basic, very straightforward. Good enhancer to your main shot, really. Good enhancer to your main shot. Good enhancer to your main shot, but not really blowing my skirt up here. I'm going B- on this one. And the stats are biased toward defense. That's one of the few unusual things. All right, now we're going to go check out the S tier, the S grade ones. Let's see if S grade means S tier also. So the stat attributes here are double what they are for A grade wingmen. So obviously they're going to be higher. When equipped by pilots of the same element trait, 25% bonus. So attack mode charges forward every 3 seconds, then returns to starting position when reaching a certain distance, dealing damage equal to 14% of attack on the way. Let's check that out. Shuttle drill. So that deals damage twice, really. The damage is a little bit on the low side from what I would expect for an S grade, and can be useful against larger bosses and larger mini bosses, certainly, but is mostly useful against mobs. The skill isn't super strong to me, but the stat boosts are super strong. So taking the Joey exclusive out, I'm going A+ tier. And the Joey exclusive makes an extra charge forward when equipped by Joey. The drill slows down and drills continuously when dealing damage. Now, it doesn't have a video of it there, but that's still really, really good. Real attack booster. Really helps things along. So, obviously, when equipped by Joey, that thing's S tier. Moving on, we got Hell Rain. So, Hell Rain, the stat boosts are completely even here. When equipped by pilots with the same trait, 25%. Unleashes a projectile barrage forward every every quarter second. Each projectile dealing 8% damage. Now, 4 projectiles a second. That's pretty good. So that's 32% per second, which is a sky-high amount of damage over time. I like that one. The only weakness is it's not auto-aiming. Otherwise, this one is good against both mobs and bosses. I'm going S- tier for this one, especially counting the stat boost. And the Elsa exclusive skill, it locks on during the ultimate when equipped by Elsa. During ultimate and counter stunt, projectile damage is up. So that's an extra boost for that one. Now we're going to back out of here. That is an S tier for me, obviously. Now, if you want to keep track of what is what tier, I suggest you write them down, or better yet, just play with all the ones that you unlock when you're doing recruits, because then you will be able to test them. All right, we're going to go over to Honk's Depot. Let's go preview section. We've got all the same A-grade ones. The S-grade ones are the event ones, of course, which means Tom and Jerry's Wingmen. Tom's Wingman is the Mouse Exterminator. That is far more biased toward attack and a little lighter on the defense. Attack mode summons a decoy mouse every 5 seconds. The Mouse Exterminator hurls random items at the decoy, dealing area of effect damage equal to 28%. Each attack temporarily increases the Mouse Exterminator's damage against external enemies. Let's check out what this thing looks like. All right. Okay, so basically the mouse crawls side to side along the screen, and the shots that fire that are triggered by the mouse then hit the enemies for actually a pretty decent amount of damage. It's a pretty small area damage, though. It's not a big area of effect, and it doesn't shoot off that frequently, though. So based on the strength of the attack mode alone, I'm just going A+ tier. But let's check out Tom's exclusive. Adds bowling balls to usable items when equipped by Tom. Each time an enemy is hit by a different item type, the damage permanently increases for the remainder of the match. All right, so when you add the permanent increases there and add the bowling balls to it, that's a little bit stronger. So definitely equip that one on Tom. Exit out, switch. Let's check out Jerry's signature Wingman preview. Jerry. This one also is more biased toward attack. Let's see. Attack mode. Each counter grants 1 pop pressure stack. When counter stunt is used at maximum stacks, it launches a powerful cap spray attack, dealing damage equal to a portion of the attack up to 180% and clears all stacks. Jerry exclusive. Increases initial and maximum pop pressure stacks by 1% by 1 when equipped by Jerry. At max stacks, Cap Spray also creates a soda jet that strikes enemies. So dealing a stream of damage, that would obviously make it like an S+. But let's check it out, what it looks like. So essentially, your stunt will charge the bottle up, and then they will end up launching caps at enemies and auto-aiming at enemies and dealing a large amount of damage. So especially if you like to use your counter stunt a lot, this will be a good one to use. But I'm going A+ tier aside from Jerry's skill. So on its own, A+ tier. All right. So yeah, number 1 might shock you there. To me, the 2 number 1s are probably the Flamethrower and the Tesla Tyrant, which are A grade and not S grade, just because the skill is so insanely good. Yeah, told you number 1 would shock you. All right, So, but obviously use whatever you like best. Your tier list, your personal tier list may differ from mine. This is just my opinion. Anyways, this is Game Hydro. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and check out our other videos about ACECRAFT Sky Hero.